Hey, I wanted to do this video because I wanted just to give you a better understanding of, if you're watching this video, a better understanding of kind of the client flow, what's going to happen inside of Legacy from when the sale happens to, getting onto the phone with the person, to getting the contracts out, to then setting them up for coaching, to then making sure that a new client's transition through Legacy is seamless. And so we're going to start here on this mind map. I'm going to have this sent out to you as well so that you can have a look. But firstly, we're going to start here with the sales call. So the journey and basically what happens is this. Now a new prospect comes in and that's filled in on the lead sheet. The salesperson will follow up with that and the client will then have a chat on to the phone with our sales coach. The sales coach really is finding out if they're a suitable fit for the program. If they are, fantastic, awesome. I've listed and I've detailed the things that need to be done, such as the contracts need to be signed, the Wufoo forms need to be complete, the payment needs to be done, and then basically the salesperson sends off the welcome email and then handballs that person and books them in for their first coaching call session with the coach. Now, essentially what the first coaching call session is, this is probably one of the most important and key areas because after somebody's joined a program, after they've paid a big amount, they want to feel certain that they've made the right decision. They want to feel complete certainty inside of the program. So the coach needs to catch up onto a call with them, get them in for the next 24 to 48 hours, okay? And this is all about the first coaching call. It's introduction to Legacy, what it's all about, and welcome. So really it's explaining what the Legacy program is all about. It's explaining the 4 pillars of Legacy. It's talking about the 3 masterminds a year. It's access to my inbound and support team. We've got Facebook ads, we've got copywriters, we've got the coaching, you've got strategy with me and webinars, okay? So one of the first things is just setting up the criteria, getting to know the person, and then basically getting a better understanding of who the client is, what they've done in the past. Because what we're going to do later on in step number 11 is we're going to use this to introduce them into the Legacy group. Now, the next thing as well is to obviously get them to complete the client questionnaire. You want to book them in for a coaching call with me, the niche creation call, where I can help them figure out their niche. So that's the most important thing. Book them in for a niche call with me, and then basically get them to do some homework. Okay, homework before the call with me, and that is, completing the client questionnaire form, completing module 1 inside a 6-figure online coach. They need to make sure that their contracts are all signed and up to date, and basically we need to make sure that the debit stuff is all sorted out. Okay, now once this is done, then we start to introduce them inside of the Facebook group, and we just put a nice photo of them, find a photo on their Facebook page, set up and write a nice paragraph about who they are, what they've done, what they can contribute, what they're looking to do, and get everybody to contribute and post in there and welcome them. Okay, the next couple of calls with me, the niche creation call, I'm going to go through that, and basically all I'm going to figure out here is I want to figure out who they should become over the next year, over the next 3 years, but ultimately which niche they want to completely go in and dominate. Okay, and then from here it kind of streamlines. After I've done that niche creation call, it is so important in the first coaching call. Firstly, if we take a step back to the first coaching call, the second column here is that the coach needs to book in a weekly accountability call with the coach. Maybe it's a 30-minute session where they sit down. So schedule that in and make that a consistently recurring time for the next year. Okay, so you don't just book one call, you follow up, you book all the calls, and you say, look, we're going to do Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. It's going to be 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. your time, and 6:30 my time. We're going to book that in for your calendar. And basically what happens here is that after the niche creation call, generally what will happen is I'm going to give them tasks. I'm going to tell them to get their content for the flagship program to be built out. Their ultimate program, I'm going to tell them to go through Legacy, pillar 1, 2, and 3. Okay, but then basically every single week, the performance coach, whoever is coaching this at this very moment in time, is going to go through the weekly coaching role, which is firstly, it's finding out, okay, what are they grateful for? The second thing is, asking the questions of goal setting. What do they really want to achieve this week? but looking back at what the goals I've set for them inside of Legacy in a Day. Okay, so the coaching position has to be dynamic. You really have to understand, you have to understand, number one, the syllabus content, all the stuff that I'm sharing, because if you don't understand that and they're coming up with any issues, you want to be able to connect the dots and you want to connect them to the right people. So if someone's having problems with their ads, you should connect them and post inside the group and say, hey, we're having problems with ads, connect with John, which is our ads guy, and then you'll be able to go and connect the two dots together. Okay. The thing that you want to do as well is talk about accountability, improvement. What's the one thing that the client can do this week? You want to set them up with some habits and consistency. So you want to keep them accountable as well by whether or not you use Voxer, and you want to make sure that they're consistently building on their habits. Okay. We will look at personal growth and development. What can the client do to develop more self-belief, certainty, self-worth, so then they become this leader? Okay. The next question in question number 6 is, can the client connect with any other legacy member who's overcome similar issues, who's overcoming the same problems, so that they connect and discuss? Okay. Now, if the client is running into any problems whatsoever, whether it's strategy, whether it's they haven't watched the webinars, whether it's copywriting, Facebook ads, then we need to be able to connect them. Like, the coaching role is very, very important, because you're literally finding out the problems for the client, and then basically when a client hits a hurdle or a brick wall, you're literally helping them overcome that brick wall by developing with the key strategies. So the key habitual strategies, mindset, but also you're connecting them with the right people, or you're telling them which webinars they should go through again in order to understand that, or you might want to connect them and outreach them to the right people. Okay. 8, you want to post any wins inside of the Facebook group after your coaching call. Like, just a huge shout out to John. He's absolutely killed the week. He's made $2,000 in sales. That's the best week he's ever had. Here's to his $4,000 in sales. And then basically, lastly, you want to ensure that the client notes are written inside of the client sheet so that everybody's up to date, and then you connect the right people. So if John needs to talk to me, then urgently, then just say, John needs to have a conversation with you, Lynn, or John needs better ad copywriting. His ads aren't converting. Okay, so being the coach, you have to have that awareness to connect the dots of what that client needs, but also understanding the full syllabus of what we're trying to get across.